I laughed before I even knew why. "You're like a brother to me," I said, half joking, though not really. My tone was playful, but the words were loaded. His eyes flickered, the warmth in them shifting for just a second. He downed the last of his drink, nodded once, and said, "Thank you." Then he stood and left. No drama. No questions. Just quiet. The sound of his shoes fading as he walked away. And in that stillness, something inside me cracked open. If you've ever doubted the power of words, yes, even the ones said in jest, tap that like button and stick with me. This one goes deep. It all began on a Friday night. We met up at a small tapas spot downtown. Nothing extravagant, just really good food and even better company. He'd been my brother's best friend since they were kids. He knew every embarrassing thing I'd ever done as a teenager. We laughed over old memories, and somewhere between the garlic shrimp and the sangria, I felt a strange warmth. He had always felt like family, protective, dependable, the kind of person I could scream at in a hallway and then call an hour later to vent. That night didn't seem any different. Or at least, I thought it wasn't. I felt safe with him. Comfortable. I talked openly about my recent breakup, my disaster of an apartment, how burned out I was at work. He listened. Really listened. No dismissive smirks. No rushed advice. Just pure presence. And that's when I noticed it. I liked him. Not just as a friend. Not like a brother. I liked him. I caught the way he looked at me, how his eyes softened when I laughed. How he leaned in, just a little, when I spoke. There were sparks. But I wasn't ready for sparks. I wanted comfort. Safety. A friend. So I drew a line. I laughed at something he said, paused, and then casually tossed out, "You know, you're like a brother to me." His expression shifted. That gentle warmth in his eyes dimmed into something I couldn't quite name. And in that moment, I felt it, what I had just done. Maybe I'd been too affectionate. Maybe I gave him hope. He picked up his glass and took the slowest sip I'd ever seen. The noise in the restaurant faded. Everything blurred. He set his drink down, met my eyes. "Thank you," he said quietly. Then he stood. "No pressure," he added, voice steady. He nodded at the table, turned, and walked away. Pause. Just like that, he was gone. No follow-up texts. No calls. Nothing. Only an empty seat and a quickening pulse in my chest. Morning came, and I found myself at the kitchen table, replaying every detail. The laughter. The comfort. And that one phrase, like a brother, packaged like a joke. But really, it was a shield. Why had I said it? Was I trying to protect him? Or just myself? Was I so out of touch with my own feelings that I couldn't see what was in front of me? I checked my phone. No missed calls. No messages. His name didn't light up my screen. I told myself he was just busy. Needed time. But deep down, I knew better. He left because I made him feel like he didn't matter. Like there was no space for more. Like he'd been boxed into something smaller than what he really meant to me. The days afterward felt hollow. I dated casually, ran errands, showed up to brunches. But every pause in the noise reminded me of what I'd lost. Not just a friend. A possibility. A chance with someone who never tried to fix me, just showed up. Sat with me. Saw me. And I gave that up. Weeks later, I was at a friend's party. I saw him from across the room, laughing with someone else, so light, so at ease. My chest tightened. It wasn't jealousy. It was absence. I missed his laugh. I missed how seen I felt when he was near. I wanted to walk over. But I froze. I didn't recognize the girl who was too scared to cross the room. So I stayed put, watching him enjoy the very thing I'd let go. Later, I called a friend. "He's here," I said. "Yeah," she replied. "He looks good. Happy." That word, happy, echoed inside me. It didn't sting because he'd moved on. It hurt because I'd never even given us a chance. I was so scared of being vulnerable, I buried real feelings beneath a safe label. Like a brother. It was easier than saying what I truly wanted. That night, I drafted a message. "Hey." I've been thinking about you. About that night. I said the wrong thing. I wasn't trying to push you away. I was just scared. I cared more than I let on. I'm sorry. I stared at the screen. Thumb hovered over send. And I didn't. Maybe he had moved on. Maybe it was too little, too late. Or maybe the silence was mine to carry. What I've learned. Words are powerful. Even the ones we throw out like they mean nothing. Comfort can feel safer than love. But safety doesn't always fill the space love could. Missing out on what could have been hurts more than rejection ever will. So if you've ever pushed someone away by saying they were like a friend when you felt more, stop. Let this be your pause. Don't let fear be the author of your story. You might be walking away from what you really want. If this hit something in you, leave a comment. I've been there. And hit subscribe if you're here for stories that cut through the noise. No filters, just truth. That night, it wasn't love I lacked. It was courage. Telling him he was like a brother? That was my way out. But he wasn't there to fix me. Or chase me. He was there to love me, just as I was. And I shut the door. He left, and the silence that followed taught me something I'll carry forever. Never label something safe, just to avoid the messy truth. Because words build walls. And sometimes the heart breaks on the other side.